It is January 1939, and the CCP forces in China have found themselves at a crossroads. They retreated last year from Shenxi in the face of overwhelming Japanese opposition, an army marching down south from Suyan, and then they moved to Szechuan, and now, in the process of a long march, they have a choice in front of them. Which direction do they go? Do they march south towards Kwaichao, towards the heartland of the KMT forces, and amongst the KMT and the Japanese border clashes there? Or do they move towards Qinghai and retreat towards the Soviet homelands? Or do they go back and recapture Shenxi from the Japanese forces? Now, these two options have merit towards them. Shenxi, you take out a portion of the Japanese military, but you put yourselves right in the crosshairs of, put yourselves right down there while the Japanese forces are still quite strong. Qinghai is also an option, but now it allows the Japanese to conglomerate all their forces and take us out in Qinghai. So they're faced with a little bit of a dilemma in front of them. In the rest of the world, things are doing quite well for the Axis forces. In the Spanish Civil War, there has been a bit of a push and pull. Right now, the German forces have not been lend-leasing any units towards the nationalists, with only the Italians sending lend-lease here. So it looks like the Republicans might gain the upper hand with distinctly more units, as well as better quality units in the form of air forces as well, as opposed to the nationalists only having a couple artillery present here. Welcome all to Global War 1936. We're playing our turn number, I believe it is turn number 5 for the Russian forces, or the Comintern forces, that is. And I have not updated my map in Europe. I'm a little bit behind there, just with heavy work schedule and the like. Things are shifting, things are moving. I'll have to update it as soon as things get a little bit more tense with Soviets and the German forces. We have not signed the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. We are told that perhaps next turn we'll have to see if we want to sign it at that point, because the later we sign it, the less beneficial it is to us, let's say. So that's the current situation. We will update our map as time goes on a little bit later. Italians and the Japanese have been updated. It's only this latest German turn, as well as some previous Allied forces turns as well, we haven't updated. Apart from the KMT, we have updated. So that's the current situation on the map. I'm going to later on over WhatsApp give a quick rundown of where my forces are in a short little video there. So it should work out quite nicely. So let's go dive right in with the CCP turn. I've outlaid the problems that they have here. They are not producing any units this turn. They have $7 in the bank. We're not going to build any units for them. We are simply going to choose which direction to go. Do we feel ambitious enough to take out Shenxi, or should we retreat towards Qinghai? Now, I do believe that Qinghai is the better option at this point, although it might mean that we face increased opposition in the subsequent turn. Going into Qinghai also opens up the Japanese to a counterattack from Xikang here, and these cavalry units as well racing in here to wipe out whatever remaining troops of the Japanese forces arrive in that destination. And also, this is worth nothing to the Japanese. It might not be that desirable for them to grab, so we'll have to see what they decide at that point. So we are going to make a combat move against our fellow Chinese forces here in Qinghai, and it'll be hopefully a very short and decisive battle. We have 4 dice at 2, and he has 1 dice at 2 as well. So we'll roll his, and we'll roll our 4 dice at 2. Let's see what the results are. They actually scored a hit, and we scored a hit as well. So we're going to take off one of our infantry, and we'll take off his militia here as well. And that leaves us with, I'll put a CCP marker on both these territories, but that means that we have a recruitment roll of 2 or less for both these territories. So we'll have to see what the results are. Let's roll this red dice. Shoot, I need to zoom out a bit. 2 or less, 2 or less. 12. All right, get all the bad luck dice rolls now out of the way. Let's roll for Mongolia. Now they need to roll a 4 or less. And that's a 1. They've been surprisingly successful for a length of period of time. So we're going to get another infantry for them. All right. Yep, that'll do, that'll do, that'll do. All right, now we move on to the Russian forces themselves. Now we are only buying 1 Lend-Lease infantry to the Republican forces. We're at 10. That brings us down to 7 here. So 1 infantry. For non-combat moves, it's going to be fairly straightforward. We're going to send this torpedo boat destroyer over here to join the Russian fleet. That's 2 spaces here from A10 to A14, is that right? Yeah, A14. They show up in this location. So right now in A14 we have, well, you know what? I'll give that down later on. Okay, so for non-combat moves in the rest of the territory here, I think, yeah, I think we'll leave it at that for now. Okay, let's turn to these guys here. So We are going to do a combat move. We are going to attack Madrid this turn. So we have going in, we're leaving 1 infantry in Eastern Andalusia. We're sending 1 infantry from Eastern Andalusia, and we're sending 4 infantry from Catalonia, plus our fighters. We have 5 rolls at 1 and 1 roll at 6 versus his 2 rolls at 3 and 2 rolls at 5. So we'll have to see what that is. First of all, he gets to roll his first strike at 3. We'll see what the results are. Now, this is probably a little bit of a dicey battle, but we'll have to see what the results are. A 9 and a 8, so he misses on his artillery rolls. And now we go on to the battle proper. So these are all at 2s. We're going to grab a bunch of 1s here. So 5 1s. And then we have 1 red dice here. Now, it'll be our fighter that will do most of the damage, but we'll have to see. We got a 11, here's a 1, and here's a 7. So we scored 1 hit. That's kind of what we expected. We're expecting about 1 hit per turn. And he's rolling 5s in the defense of the city. So he's going to have, roughly by my calculation, 1 hit this turn as well. But you never know. He could be very lucky. So 1 hit at 5. So almost didn't make it. But we're taking off 1 infantry and going into the second round. Now he's going to take off his artillery. And so for now, we're rolling 3 dice here. Oranges being 5s and the blues being the other ones. We're expecting 1 hit on our end again. We scored 1 there for our aircraft, and this one being a 2. Over here, he's got 1 hit as well, so we each scored 1 hit. So I'm going to take off his second artillery piece, and we'll take off one of our infantry going into round 3. Now again, we're looking at less than 1 hit, so this round we're probably going to miss. And on his round, he's probably going to score a hit. Yep, there we go. 1 hit, 1 to our 1 as well. So he's down now to... we're down to 2 infantry and 1 aircraft, and he's down to 1 infantry left over. So we missed on this round, and he missed as well, so lucky us. So this one here is a 1. That was a 1 in case you didn't notice it was a 1. If you need to pause to zoom in. And we took it out. There we go. So we've survived 2 infantry and 1 fighter. So that is quite tidy. So we've taken off 4 of his units. And in exchange, we've taken off 3 of ours. We end up controlling Madrid. There we have it. And the tables have slightly turned in this case. 2 infantry and... yeah. So, oddly enough, if we take a look down here at this tracker I've built, we're actually pulling out ahead now over our enemy. So we've been kind of lucky in that sense. But trying to match as best I can 1 for 1. We've actually been doing okay. We've taken out 1, 2, 3, 4 of his infantry. He's taken out 5 of ours. His artillery there, right? So, yeah, I mean, if I started to switch this up here... yeah, so we could kind of see a little bit what it looks like. So we're still kind of on par. We're a little bit ahead because of one of his nationalist fighters. So we're ahead by about 10 bucks. But that battle looks like it might about conclude fairly soon. And that's it at this stage. Let's roll for recruitment for them. So you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 or less. And I feel like this time we are going to miss. I feel like we hit last turn, so it stands to reason we're going to miss this time. Although that might just be me pessimistic. It was almost a 6, but we hit a 12 instead. Alright, so we get our Lend-Lease unit arriving here. We're going to put it there. Alright. And I believe that's it for Spain. Yep, that's it for Spain. And... the CCP forces have been rolled for. These guys, I need to roll for them still. So we do an income increase roll. I'm not going to roll it here. I'm going to roll it through the box. I'm sorry, I was just testing. We had a 1 last time, so 3 we'll take. So that brings us up from... we're up to 12. So first time we got, I believe it was a 3. Oh no, first time we had a 4. Next time we had a 1 and now a 3. So, we're kind of not, we're below the average of where we should be, but 12 bucks is increase over here. So 7 plus 12, that brings us up to 19. 19 bucks to spend. Alright, well, that about does it for the Comintern turn. Thank you all for watching. Check out the Veterans Turn next. I'll give a little bit of a unit update for... I don't think I need to just yet. Nothing's really moved too dramatically on my turn. But yeah, check out the Veterans channel next if you want to see what the Japanese are up to. What direction do they go for? Are they going to go and hit Qinghai? Or do they have other plans up their sleeves, what their intentions are? Maybe they're going to make a push for Yunnan, because Yunnan is always the toughest nut to crack, I find. Thank you all for watching. Cheers.